Hey everybody. So before I begin, I just want to say that this is a very sensitive topic to talk about. There are people that have dealt with it head on. There are people that have lost people due to this. And I'm by no means meaning any disrespect when I post this. I'm only talking about my experiences and the fact that I'm one of the ones that made it out on the other side of it. I also still battle with it, but yeah. And the topic of this video is suicide. So let's begin. So, for several years, every time I go to the doctor or a hospital or anything like that, or meet people, I'm always asked one question: where did those come from? My answer is often simple: a product of a misspent youth. That's the truth. When things got so bad when I was a teenager and I couldn't talk to anybody, that was the only relief I could find, was to cut. And I did it for a very, very long time. But after having several people, stop me, and after, I guess growing up a little bit, maybe, I stopped. And I realized that, my body is worth more than, for me to cut on and things like that, because then I've just got more scars I've got to try to hide. And it's not so much that I hide them, there's just times I don't want to show them. Like when I got remarried, I was looking for a long sleeve dress, but I couldn't find one I liked, so I got gloves that they come up to about right here, so I could hide my scars. But they do remind me of all the pain I've been through, the trauma, and what I've overcame. My heart goes out to people that battle with the thoughts, because they can definitely creep in and plague your mind. I still battle with the thoughts to this day. They tell me that, nobody's going to miss me or it wouldn't matter. But I know better. I know at least my daughter and my mother, they would be devastated. So I use that love and everything when I'm in having those bad moments to kind of get me through it. It's hard, but it's worth it. I'm worth it. And if you battle with the thoughts and everything, then just know you're worth it too. It may not feel like it at this moment, but there is somebody, somewhere, that loves you, and your existence matters to that person. And without you, they would feel incomplete. So I say to the whole world, if you ever feel like you're in a position where you just can't live anymore, I want you to seriously think, deep down, think of one phone number, one, of a number that you can call. And then on the other line, that person you call will be what brings you out of this. Because I guarantee you, there's always somebody, somewhere. If you make that phone call, they'll be there. May not be who you want it to be, but it's because that's what needs to be. I hope that makes sense. I've turned to a few friends during my times of, really, really bad nights. I had one friend in particular. I told her that I didn't want to be here anymore. I just couldn't do it. And she, not being in the same state that I'm in, offered to send help to me. And honestly, I can't remember if help ended up coming or not. Um, because I was, yeah, so. But it's things like that that count. It's things like that that, make a big difference. It's so hard for us because we get involved in our daily lives, so wrapped up in everything that, when somebody does reach out to us, it's, you ignore the message or you ignore the phone call. But just know that that message or that phone call, the person on the other end just might be in the moment of not being able to make it another hour. So before you turn somebody away that's reaching out for help, just know that that's the only option they have. Okay. We need to not be so self-centered and, be willing to help each other through the good times and the bad. Especially, in these small communities like my hometown. There's so many young people these days that are struggling worse than we could imagine, I mean, I'm a millennial. I couldn't imagine a pandemic back in the early 2000s. And these kids, they've been through so much. Changes, pandemic, everything. And a lot of these kids feel like they have nobody that they can turn to. So, I think it's important that us adults, even if we don't know the kid, you see one that looks like it's having a bad day, talk to it. Talk to her, him, whatever, reach out. These kids need us. They are our future. And without those of us that, have lived our pasts and lived history, then, and if we don't show them our wisdom and help them through it, what future do we have? What future do they have? And generations after that. So I believe that suicide shouldn't be so taboo. Excuse me. I believe that it should be talked about more in a positive manner. Because I've made several attempts in my life, and having come out on the other side of that. If more people have that opportunity to save somebody or save themselves and come out on the other side, think of how just a little bit much better this world would be. We all have to live through the same hell. So I believe that we should all encourage each other, help each other, motivate each other, and pick each other up when we fall. Because it's only through that things will get better. And I'm not saying that suicide would never happen again, I mean, if we all did that, but I am saying maybe it would go down a, downward spectrum instead of rising the way that it is. Because it's truly heartbreaking. We have something to live for. Whether we realize it or not, we have something to live for. And that changes the entire ballgame. So with that said, again, my heart goes out to those who suffer with the suicidal thoughts. My heart goes out to those that have lost loved ones due to suicide. And to the ones like me who made it out on the other side, congratulations. Now, we got a job to do. We've got to share experiences, our stories. We've got to give hope, courage, inspiration to those who are not yet as strong as we are. So that's a challenge. Let's see who'll rise to it. Alright, so my next video, I'm going to touch base back again on my substance abuse history, and the fact that I actually learned it was a disorder. I didn't know that at the time. But, so yeah, tune in, and I'll talk at you